This video takes viewers on a chronological voyage through some of history's most devastating military failures, shedding light on the strategic blunders, the human and resource toll, and the far-reaching historical consequences of these ill-fated campaigns. Number 5. The Battle of Hastings, 1066. On October 14, 1066, a pivotal event unfolded in English history that would reshape the nation irreversibly: the Battle of Hastings. This monumental clash spelled disaster for the Anglo-Saxons and marked the end of their rule, heralding the dawn of Norman conquest. King Harold Godwinson, who had recently repelled a Viking invasion in the north, found himself compelled to lead his fatigued troops southward to confront the invading Normans, commanded by Duke William of Normandy. William had asserted his claim to the English throne following the passing of King Edward the Confessor, challenging Harold's reign. The Battle of Hastings was a fiercely contested encounter, but the turning point arrived with a cunning maneuver by the Normans. They staged a feigned retreat, luring the Anglo-Saxon forces to break their defensive shield wall in pursuit, only to fall into William's strategic trap. The Normans then turned the tide of battle by cutting down the Anglo-Saxon forces in the open field. It was during this fateful conflict that Harold met his end, reportedly struck in the eye by an arrow. With his demise, Anglo-Saxon resistance crumbled. The consequences of this defeat were catastrophic for the Anglo-Saxons. The ruling aristocracy was nearly decimated, making way for Norman nobles to take their place. The Battle of Hastings left an indelible mark on England's culture, governance, and language, signifying a pivotal juncture in English history. Number 4. The Battle of Manaker, 1071. The Battle of Manaker in 1071 stands as a pivotal moment in the decline of Byzantine power, marking a severe military disaster. On August 26, 1071, Sultan Alp Arslan led the Seljuk Turks to a resounding victory over the Byzantine army, commanded by Emperor Romanus IV Diogenes. The Byzantines, underestimating the Seljuks, failed to grasp their cunning use of mobile horse archers, which skillfully harassed the Byzantine lines. A crucial misjudgment occurred when Romanos, interpreting a tactical withdrawal by the Seljuks as a full-scale retreat, ordered a reckless attack that stretched his forces thin. Seizing this opportunity, the Seljuks launched a counterattack and encircled the Byzantine forces. The aftermath of the battle was devastating for the Byzantines, with high casualties and the capture of many, including Emperor Romanos himself. This defeat laid bare the vulnerability of the Byzantine Empire and facilitated the gradual advance of Turkic peoples into Anatolia, effectively weakening Byzantine control over the region. The Battle of Manaker is often seen as the turning point when the balance of power shifted in favor of the Seljuk Turks, setting the stage for the gradual Turkification of Anatolia. This transformation ultimately paved the way for the establishment of the Ottoman Empire, which would go on to rule the region for centuries. Number 3. Siege of Constantinople, 1453. In 1453, one of the most profound military disasters in medieval history transpired with the fall of Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire, which served as the eastern continuation of the Roman Empire, had been in a state of decline. In contrast, the Ottoman Turks were on the ascent, led by Sultan Mehmed II, a visionary leader with aspirations of establishing a world empire. Constantinople, defended by the Byzantine Emperor Constantine V, and a mere 7,000 soldiers, faced an overwhelming Ottoman force of around 100,000. Despite this monumental imbalance, the city's defenses, particularly the formidable Theodosian walls, augmented by the strategic use of a massive chain across the Golden Horn, initially held the Ottomans at bay. However, the introduction of gunpowder weaponry provided the attackers with a devastating advantage, particularly in the form of massive cannons that gradually eroded the once impregnable walls. After a grueling 53-day siege, the Ottomans breached the city's defenses on May 29, 1453. The defenders displayed remarkable valor, but they were ultimately overwhelmed. Emperor Constantine XV himself perished in the midst of the battle, marking the poignant end of a 1,500-year-old empire. The loss of Constantinople held profound consequences, signifying the demise of the Byzantine Empire and a seismic shift in power that would reshape the landscapes of Europe and the Middle East. The city was renamed Istanbul and emerged as the capital of the Ottoman Empire, a formidable entity that would stand at the crossroads of East and West for the next 4 centuries. Number 2. The Battle of Isandla, 1879. The Battle of Isandla, 1879. The Battle of Isandla, which occurred on January 22, 1879, stands as a stark illustration of one of the most astonishing defeats suffered by a modern army at the hands of indigenous forces. This pivotal clash unfolded during the Anglo-Zulu War, a conflict ignited by Britain's imperial ambitions, which pitted them against the Zulu kingdom in southern Africa. Under the command of Lieutenant General Lord Chelmsford, the British forces enjoyed a significant technological advantage over the Zulu warriors. The British Army was armed with the advanced Martini-Henry rifles and rocket batteries, while the Zulu warriors primarily wielded traditional spears known as assegais. Nonetheless, a lethal mix of British complacency and an underestimation of the Zulu combat capabilities led to a calamitous outcome. Despite explicit orders to fortify their camp, the British forces failed to do so, as they felt overly secure in their technological superiority. Seizing this opportunity, a sizable Zulu impi, or army, launched a surprise assault on the British camp. Outnumbered and unprepared, the British line collapsed under the fierce Zulu onslaught, resulting in a devastating defeat. Of the approximately 1,800 British troops present, over 300 perished, marking a profoundly significant loss. The Battle of Isandla underscored a remarkable triumph for the Zulus and served as a compelling reminder to the British of the perils of underestimating one's opponent. Despite this shocking setback, the British ultimately regrouped and emerged victorious over the Zulu nation by the end of the war. 1. The Battle of Stalingrad, 1942-43. The Battle of Stalingrad, which raged from August 23, 1942 to February 2, 1943, is widely recognized as one of the most brutal and pivotal clashes in human history, marking a decisive turning point in World War II. The city bore the name of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, rendering it both a symbolic and strategic target for Adolf Hitler in his campaign against the Soviet Union. The German Sixth Army, commanded by General Friedrich Paulus, pushed into the city but encountered fierce and unyielding resistance from both the Red Army and the civilian population. The urban warfare in Stalingrad proved to be exceptionally brutal and costly, with both sides enduring significant casualties. The tide of the battle took a dramatic turn when the Soviets initiated Operation Uranus, a maneuver that encircled and entrapped the German forces within the city. Cut off from crucial supplies and reinforcements, the German troops endured starvation and the harsh Russian winter. Despite Adolf Hitler's unwavering orders to fight to the last man, General Paulus eventually surrendered on February 2, 1943. The German defeat in Stalingrad resulted in catastrophic losses, with approximately 150,000 casualties, and the surrender of around 91,000 troops, most of whom would never return from Soviet captivity. Stalingrad stands as a pivotal moment in history, representing the first major defeat of Hitler's armies on the Eastern Front and serving as a monumental turning point in World War II. The immense material and moral toll inflicted upon Germany significantly weakened its capacity to sustain a war of attrition, thereby contributing substantially to the ultimate downfall of Nazi Germany.